Dr. Gigi Sabat, and you're listening to the Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Renee. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Gigi, for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to share our voices together.
Absolutely. Such an honor to have you here today, Renee. Now, can you start off by telling us a little bit more about you and where are you from, Renee?
I am originally from the East Coast. Currently, I hail from Southern California. So I've been out here for a while, and it's really, such an honor to be here and to share our voices together. This is an opportunity. Anytime you have an opportunity to speak with other people and share what you're doing to empower others, it's a blessing and a gift. So thank you for this.
You're welcome. Renee, tell us a little bit more about your story and finding your voice.
Yeah, well, as you know, Dr. Gigi, this has been my whole platform for a long time because I lost my own voice. And finding your voice is very important to me because I lost mine in 2013 and was told by doctors that I may never be able to speak again. So it's something that I know going through something, we also grow through it. Any experience that we have an opportunity to grow from it. And I didn't know why it had happened. At that time, it was to me. I felt like it happened to me. I didn't know what was going on, why I would lose my voice and have such pain. I had sores on top of my vocal cords that kept me from, like, my vocal cords couldn't touch. So there was no vibrational sound that could come out to communicate. And I was also contagious at the time because it was an illness that attacked not just my vocal cords, but my whole body. So I was not allowed out with the public. I was in the ER, and she said, you're not allowed out with the public. And so it was not only not having a voice, it was the thing I love most is connecting with people, as you know. And I couldn't be out with anybody and I couldn't speak. So life as I once knew it completely shut down. And I wasn't really sure what had happened or why at the time. But in hindsight, I can tell you, I truly do believe that the physical loss of my voice had manifested from that metaphoric loss of my voice in life, from, that people pleasing, fear of judgment, looking for outside validation to feel good enough, my own inner self-worth, all of those things that we hear about. And I didn't know that I was actually going through that inside internally, but I was, because I was running multi-million-dollar teams and departments, and I was speaking and I was managing and I was, supporting so many people. But the one I really didn't give a second look to was that girl looking back at me in the mirror. And everybody outside of me and everything outside of me was more important than me. And I didn't know I was doing that, but I was running, doing for everybody and everything except for becoming me. I didn't take time out for me. It was just not on a priority list. There was no list for myself. It wasn't important because everything and everybody I was more responsible for. So I never took the time to show up for myself.
Such a powerful message. Show up for yourself, and your voice truly matters. Renee, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Can you tell us a little bit more about your book?
Absolutely. It is called Finding Your Voice, Unlock Your Chains and Unleash Your Greatness. It's almost like it could say, finding your voice, unlock your chains so you can unleash your greatness, because our chains are what we've bound ourselves up in. Thank you, Gigi. It's, we bind ourselves up in these chains that we don't even realize we're doing it. And the greatness is also within us, but it's time to unlock them. And we have the power to do that. We can unlock them. We can unleash them. And so often, from, where we grew up, the way we grew up, the people we surrounded ourselves with, that made us suppress our own voices, that we didn't feel we could speak up or speak out or go against the grain or rock the boat or whatever words you use in your head that you don't want to do, whether it's in a relationship, at work or at home or with a spouse or loved one. You're just like, I want to just keep the peace. I'll just, not worth it. I'll just keep it down. Now, some things, you've got to choose your battles, right? I mean, what things is worth you speaking up about and what things aren't. But really, if there's something that's so important to you to suppress your own voice for so long, I eventually had no voice because I never used it. I didn't speak up until I no longer had a voice in which to speak. It was completely gone. And as I said, doctors didn't know if I would speak again. So finding your voice is a journey truly back home to who you really are. It's coming home to yourself, the self that you may have let go dormant, not even realizing you did. The voice that you suppressed so long that you lost sight of your own voice and what it even means anymore, or how important it really is. So it's time to unlock your chains and unleash your own greatness. It's a workbook within a book. So you can jot down, your notes. I pose questions after each chapter. I'm going to pull up one of them right now.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
After each chapter, I have takeaways. There it is. And I actually speak to you in the book. Like, where do you have this? Where have you found that? So you can date it and write your answers, because you will be amazed at how you're evolving in your own journey of finding your voice. And what it means to you is different than the next person. So this becomes an evergreen tool for you to utilize and look back upon and see your own growth in your life and how you're finding your voice. And that's what it's about. When I started writing this book, and you and I were talking for a little bit off camera,
Yeah.
I even said to you before writing it, I said, who am I to write a book? Who cares? Who cares about what I went through? And I didn't mean it in any other way, but I really didn't think that anybody did. And then when I was out in nature one day walking, and I was on a run actually, I said, Renee, because I really was not going to write it because I really didn't think anybody would care. And I said, it's not about you in as much as the journey that you're going to be able to take people on. And it's going to be their own journey. Through yours, they will be able to find their own voice, knowing what you went through, knowing what you have become from where you were. And that the possibilities for others is right there too. I'm no better than anybody else walking the face of this earth. I've had different experiences, and some were quite painful. But from our bruises and the scars that we earn, I say earn because we've earned them, we can find our own voice and then take that experience, take that journey, take that instrument called your voice and use it to serve others in finding theirs.
That's right. It's not about us, it's about the people that we serve. And as we're on the subject here, I love the subtitle here, Unlock Your Chains and Unleash Your Greatness. What message do you have for an individual who feels that they're not great and feels as though they're surrounded with chains?
That's a great question because I felt that way. So it's really about, as I said, coming home to who you are and how do you unlock them? How do you unleash them? And I was also talking to you earlier. I created the voice blueprint. That voice blueprint takes you from vulnerability to empowerment. I created the thing I needed, which I didn't know I needed at the time. I was my younger self, and now I'm a little bit older and wiser in what I needed. And I said, well, this is what I needed. And I know it's served me, and I pray to God it will serve others. So I created the voice blueprint, and it has served others in a great way to take them from that vulnerability to empowerment. And I do coaching and training, and I've worked with companies and one-on-one and group, because it's what is something that is a tool. It became a tool for people to utilize, that vulnerability, the owning your voice, igniting that inner flame, that courage and confidence and that empowerment that we need, especially as women, to find and own our voice, to not feel that we can't speak up, to get that confidence back again that we lost or that we suppressed our own emotions. Emotions are really energy. In motion is emotion. And we're all made up of energy, but what are we doing with it? And why are we afraid to speak our truth? What is it that's holding us back? And that's the reason I created the voice blueprint. That's the only reason. I needed to create what I didn't see out there. I needed some tool that I could use in business and in life that was going to really help me through what I had gone through for so long. That it's going to be able to serve other people too.
Incredible. For those who are listening in, I highly recommend checking out the blueprint. And now, Renee, I want to circle back to what you said. You said that you run. Now, have you ran a marathon before?
You know, I feel like I have. I'm not running as much these days as I was when I wrote the book. And the knees are not as strong, but I do go out walking in nature a lot because I like to connect with nature. And you hear nature versus nurture. To me, nature is nurture. To listen to the birds and to see, the abundance of the sky and how vast it is and what we have open and available to us, and to connect with nature and to really listen to my own voice. Our inner voice creates our outer world. And what are we really speaking to ourselves?
Incredible. Thank you so much, Renee. Now, what message do you have for an individual who may want to launch a podcast, but their self-esteem as far as their voice goes and feeling subconscious about their voice? What message do you have for that individual?
Thank you, Gigi.
You're welcome.
I would say reach out and connect with me. Let's have that conversation. Let's share our voices, because there are gifts inside of you that need to be shared with others. And if you're not doing that, then you're cheating the world out on something that can serve them in such a great way. And I've interviewed a lot of people. I've been interviewed by a lot of people, including you, Gigi, today. And I'm going to be doing my own podcast. I have a lot of interviews that I want to add in more to. And this is something very powerful. So I love to be able to speak with you. I love to share our voice together and to serve you in a way that maybe you didn't think you deserved to be, and to help you in finding your voice. What that means to everybody is different. The voice blueprint, it's the pillars that I created that is geared to each individual. So when you go to buy a suit or an outfit, you get your size, but then maybe it needs to be tailored. It doesn't fit here. It needs to be let out there. The voice blueprint, it's not a one size. It's tailor made for each person or company that I work with. That's what it's about, because we don't have a blueprint in life. We have our own blueprint.
Right.
But what do you follow? How do you navigate? There wasn't a course in school how to navigate your life along this journey. I wish there was. But how do you do that? And it's through the bumps and the bruises and the experiences we have in life where we learn to create and co-create, of finding our own voice. And what that means to each person is different. And so that's why I co-create using the voice blueprint, the pillars, and we unlock your true voice and get you where you really want to be. If you're feeling stuck or uncertain or wherever you're at, just reach out. Let's connect. Let's see what's possible, because so much is.
That's right. Renee, what message do you have for an individual who may want to give up?
That is so funny that you literally said that. As you were speaking, I got like in my ear, never give up. And before you finished your sentence, you said you want to give up. I'm like, I'm going to say never give up. And honestly, Gigi, it's a bracelet I have in my purse that my best friend, before she transitioned, I like to say, because I know she's still with me. And it says never give up. Let me see if I can grab it. I didn't think this was going to come up, so I didn't have it out with me.
No rush.
When we're live, we're live, and it's really important to me. So let me see if I can find it. I may not be in this purse. Oh, I do have it. Okay.
I recall the bracelet, but yes, please share with us.
It's the one that she wore, and that I found after she passed. It's you may not know the whole thing. It says never give up.
Hold it up, Renee. Hold on. I'm going to bring the screen closer.
There you go. Never give up.
Awesome.
And that I used to wear it a lot, so it's a little, some of the weight is off of it now, but it's still there. I carry it with me, and I carry her in my heart. And she never gave up on me, even when I gave up on me. When I gave up when I was sick, I didn't want to live anymore. I was like, why am I even here? The pain was so intense, and I wasn't able to eat or drink. I'm like, why am I even here? And as I said to you, when God brings you to something and through something, there's a greater purpose, then we know at the time how we could possibly go through such pain. But when you find purpose from that pain to serve others, and you have to first take care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. Just never give up, because I won't give up on you ever. I know what it feels like to give up on yourself, to not want to even be here anymore. And yeah, I did reach that point. I didn't want to be here anymore. It was too painful. But when I started healing and realizing there was more that I was meant to do here, that's part of finding your voice and sharing your story and knowing that what you have gone through was for a greater good for yourself, that you needed to learn some lessons. And listen, some of them are painful as all heck. I had many lessons I needed to learn, and I'm still learning. I didn't learn them all because they show up every day. And I can look back and go, okay, why did that just happen? Why was I so triggered by A, B, or C? I'm not perfect. I'm human. And this spiritual being having a human experience, it's not like I know better. I know it all. I don't. I'm as human as you are. I still, things still, happen, because that's life. That's this world that we live in. And I just know that there are reasons that things are happening, and I don't always know it at the time. And sometimes it could be even a day or two. I'm like, okay, now I understand. But I'm open to understanding. I'm open to listening and to learning. I wrote in the book that I'm always going to be a student in life and a student of life, because the more I learn, the more I can impart upon others, not from knowing better than anybody else, but the experience in life. People could have all the degrees they want, all the certifications they want, but it's the experiences that you go through that really serve people. And I want people that have gone through experiences that understand me, not just because they're certified and I don't take anything away. Listen, I've got a Bachelor of Arts and Science in Psychology. I worked damn hard for that degree, and I studied really hard, and I did all my work and passed all my exams and got the degree. But this degree in life that I continue to earn and learn from is one you can't put a dollar figure on. It's a continual learning curve that I am open and receptive to, because that's part of what life is. You get to learn, you get to use your voice, that instrument we get to play, and we get to use it and share it with others. And how are you using it first and foremost to yourself and with yourself? What words are you speaking? Is it like, oh, you're a piece of, crap, or you're not good enough, or you'll never be good enough? Or is it the affirmations of keep going, you're strong, you're powerful, all the empowerment things? Not that you're living in a nirvana, that things, life is grand and there's nothing wrong. There's a lot wrong in this world. But if we focus on the wrong, we'll see more of the wrong. When we focus on what's right and the people who are right in our life, we'll see more of that. Because whatever you focus on expands. So just keep that in mind too.
That's right. Very powerful. And speaking of lessons, I have a quote on that. Leave the past in the past and take the lesson with you.
Mm, Oh my gosh, powerful. Absolutely. You don't want to drag your baggage with you, because then you're like always dragging it, and you're like your chains. The chains, you're dragging your baggage of chains with you. Now, if something was a positive experience, that's great. You look for more of that. You want more of those experiences. But if it's baggage that's not serving you, if it's an experience that was not positive, the more of that you look at from those things, like I was just saying, you say, oh, and then this happened, and that happened, and then this person did that, and then this person did that. You're going to keep remembering all those experiences. How about how great this one was, or the positive things? As I said, you're not only looking for what's right. There's things that don't go right, and we know that, and I'm aware of that. But when you focus on the things that are good and the people who are good, you're going to start attracting more of those people, more of those experiences, and then be grateful for those things rather than the things that are not right. Because, as I said, there's a lot going on in this world right now. We know. I'm not turning a blind eye to that by any means. But surround yourself with the good people. Surround yourself with the people that you know, like, and trust. You can be supportive of, or can support you in your journey, that don't judge you, but respect you and value you.
Very
Those are
powerful.
the people you want to be with. Yes.
I love it. Now, Renee, you were one of our speakers for our 5th annual Global Leadership Conference that we just had Friday evening, a few days ago. Now, Renee, what was your biggest takeaway from the 5th annual Global Leadership Conference?
Oh, Gigi, first of all, it was an honor and a thrill to be asked to speak on that conference, your conference. I loved it. I loved it, loved it. You know what? The biggest takeaway was to hear the stories from every speaker. And, we see people on TV or media, and you're like, you don't know the backstory. You see the highlight reel, the REEL of people. But to learn the REAL in life of what they've gone through and grown through, you're like, wow, I didn't know that. And I didn't know that. I didn't know those things, because we don't, people aren't going to say, look at all the crap I went through. Like, they're not going to post that.
Right, and you don't put it on your resume
You're
either.
not going to put on your right. You're not going to put on my resume. Look at all this stuff. Look how horrible this was. Really? Okay, you're hired. Like, but honestly, those are the people I want to be with. Those are the real life experiences of the people I want to be with. It's like, you don't know that this person went through that. You only see they're speaking here, they're doing this, they're doing that. That's great. But the REAL, that's who I am. That's the life that I want to connect with people about. Not that you're so wonderful and you do all these great things. How can I compare to that? Don't, because I'm not going to compare myself to anybody else. You scroll social media, you could just may as well just bury yourself in the sand and go, oh, well, I can never do that. Why? That's like, they're way up here. How can I ever achieve that? Please stay in your lane and let's meet there, because that's where I want to meet you, where you're at. Not about what I've done or not done or anybody. Nobody's better than me, and I'm not better than anybody else. I've had experiences in my life that allow me to meet people where they're at. I come from over 25 years in one job, job, in corporate America, probably over 40, well, not probably, over 40 years in corporate America. I didn't really want to date myself, but talking about being real, yes, I'm going to date myself. Over 40 years in corporate America. And the REAL journey that I've been through from 2013 to now, and losing my voice and understanding what having a voice really means, and speaking up for yourself and standing up for yourself, is different. It's not the same thing, because I'm not the same person. I've grown, I've evolved, I've learned, and continue to learn, and continue to surround myself with like-hearted souls. I didn't say like-minded, because the like-hearted is where I meet people. It's from here, the genuineness of people. Those are the people I want to connect with and align with. Where you're coming from, where you're at. That's what matters most.
I love it. Thank you so much, Renee. Now, Renee, what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
Find your voice. When you find your voice, you will be able to live a life of happiness and fulfillment, and own who you are and walk that path. Because until you know who you really are, and I'm going to tell you, it's like excavating and I'm working with somebody right now, and I say excavate to cultivate. We got to dig out the crap. You're not going to put soil, brand new, beautiful soil, into a garden where the flowers are dying, because the soil is no good. You got to get rid of that soil and plant new soil and give it good water and give it light and give it love and nurture it. You can't just put over, like, with good stuff when there's other stuff that's bad underneath. You got to get rid of it, dig it out, get rid of that baggage, and then plant the new seeds and get rid of the weeds.
That's right. Thank you, Renee. Now, Renee, do you have any last words for the audience?
You know what? I would say and ask you to reach out and connect. Let's share our voices. Let's talk about what's going on and see what we can do together, because it is in finding your voice and owning your voice, that you really find your path to happiness in business and in life. Whatever you're going through, know you're not alone. Know that there are people out there to support you. And going through what I went through, I would love and honor to be one of them, to see what we can do together. Because what we go through, we grow through. And having someone unconditionally supportive of you when maybe nobody really has been, or you've been thinking you're alone and you got juggling, you become a clown in a circus trying to juggle everything in your life because there's no room for you anymore. Let's make room and take time out to speak and see what's going on, and let's just talk. Let's have that conversation.
I love it. What we go through, we grow through. Very powerful. Renee, thank you so much for being a guest on the Walk With Me podcast. Where can the audience find you?
I'm on social media, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. So you could, on Instagram, it's Reisch Renee. I'm on YouTube. Under ReneeReisch.com. That's my website. Certainly connect with me there. So ReneeReisch.com, and reach out. My email is Renee@ReneeReisch.com. So message me that you saw me on in the subject heading Walk With Me podcast, so I'll know where you found me. But as I said, I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook as well. So reach out. Let's share our voices. Let's connect and see what we can do to collaborate together.
Awesome. This was great. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Renee on all of her social media platforms and also her website. That's the first name, lastname.com. And Renee, thank you again for being a guest on the Walk With Me podcast.
Thank you so much, Gigi. Much gratitude and love. Thank you.
Likewise, gratitude to you, my friend.
Thank you.